everybody is a supplier. Epstein, Weinstein, like these guys knew what these extremists liked and provided it.
You know they eat babies. That is not bullshit. It's true.
How do we know if someone is a cannibal? Well, they could have the Kuru disease.
Clinton is photographed in the files with Kevin Spacey too. There's an image of Mick Jagger with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Not releasing the Epstein files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down with me.
Here's a picture of Sarah Ferguson, ex-wife, of course, of Andrew, formerly Prince Andrew, and he features too. This is an image of the former prince lying across several women. The only other person identified in this document is Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ellen DeGeneres is named in the Epstein documents, and that part is real. Her
What you were about to hear was never intended to reach the light of day. Katt Williams' now legendary appearance on Club Shay Shay was much more than a viral interview. It was a validated prophecy that laid out the legal fallout we are seeing today. As current Department of Justice actions verify his crazy claims, we are witnessing the real-time collapse of a massive power structure that has protected the elite for decades. The icons who once laughed him off are now scrambling for an exit strategy, realizing that the walls of silence are finally closing in.
This is why those one world people exist, because it's a very powerful concept to have and far too lucrative and beneficial to not be attempted.
The dark side of Hollywood isn't just about a few bad actors. It's a vast logistical map connecting record labels, tech giants, and global boardrooms. This map, which Katt described with frantic energy, proves that the rot reaches the very people who decide what the world hears and watches. The public is finally seeing that these powerful icons are walking among us in fear, knowing their tail numbers and travel dates are now permanent public record.
That's the battle that's going on, is people who profit from the manipulation of others by getting you to believe something that's not the case. And that's how they make their living. And it is now a difficult time for those entities. To have $1 billion and not create a fantasy island type environment has not existed throughout history.
When Jay-Z's name appeared in the Unsealed documents, the industry's reaction was immediate and incredibly defensive, trying to argue that a rising star wouldn't have access to such elite circles. However, insiders suggest the opposite. The industry recruits and tests its icons early, ensuring their lifelong loyalty through binding associations made at their most vulnerable moments. This isn't just about music, it's about a culture where silence is the primary currency used to buy protection and extreme wealth.
If you take people like Jay-Z and Pusha T, they made their living our people, so how the they gonna stand up for our people? You know what I'm saying? But we forget that because we love Jay-Z's music so much. We love Pusha's music so much, right? But you think they would ever, Beyonce had the best fit for somebody else? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You think they would ever tell the truth? No, if they told the truth, I think they'd go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So you have liars. Man. Liars are now the face of our culture.
The scrutiny of figures like Harvey Weinstein has forced a global reevaluation of Kanye West's past mental breakdowns and public outbursts about the industry's hidden controllers. Kanye wasn't losing his mind. He was losing his patience with a massive secret that every other icon was being paid millions to keep. Today, the world is beginning to realize that the crazy voices were the only ones telling the truth, while the sane stars were just following a carefully written script.
In your thoughts on Donald Trump and what it means for what it means for mass incarceration?
You know what? This is a labor of love for Jay, and as a result, he's my friend. We're here to talk about that and nothing else.
Then can I ask about mass incarceration? And do you think the movement is...
Chris Trucker's charity trip defense for his presence on the Lolita Express is being met with massive public skepticism, as people question why a mission to save lives required a jet with such a predatory history. It's an explanation that feels like a classic get-out-of-jail-free card, using humanitarian work as a bulletproof shield for private associations that would otherwise be impossible to justify. It's a masterclass in high-level optics, using one hand to give aid so the world doesn't look at who is holding the other hand.
You knew Jeffrey Epstein, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. We flew Bill Clinton and a lot of different, that was a humanitarian trip to Africa. And I met him on that trip because it was his plane. I didn't know who plane we was getting on, but it was a whole bunch of dignitary people. We was with a delegation. And yeah, I met him, and you don't know people, what they do in their private lives. So yeah.
But tell me this, Chris. He was on this private plane. And you could tell that it was a private plane because they called it, was it Lolita Express?
Oh yeah, it was a private plane. Yes. Oh yes.
But wait a minute. You didn't never go to that island, did you?
No. I don't know where that thing at. No. I don't think. Hey, we was going to Africa to save lives.
Naomi Campbell's extensive flight logs suggest a role in this network that goes far beyond casual travel, leading to accusations of willful blindness from voices like Jaguar Wright. Jaguar questions how a supermodel could be in that many private rooms and on that many flights while managing to see absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. As her light in the spotlight begins to flicker, the public is realizing that these pretty faces were often used to normalize and facilitate a deeply predatory environment.
I'm still shocked that there's nothing about Naomi Campbell really coming forward yet. I'm surprised. I'm like literally surprised. Her time.
They said her name was on the list like the most as far as like flight records.
Yeah.
She was on a lot of flights.
A lot of flights.
What are some of the things that are not making the newspapers at the moment that you might have heard about?
So Naomi Campbell, she's got a lot of questions to answer. She allegedly, by the emails, and I've seen them myself in the Epstein documents, was taking a boy to Jeffrey Epstein's house in New York. This was when Epstein was a convicted. The mainstream media run it, and what do? They bury it in the fourth paragraph within the article. It's not a headline. That is simply impossible. They are being restricted because Naomi, I believe, would have sent her lawyers in to push down all of this, to suppress this. But this is the same woman that has been arrested numerous times for hitting people, throwing phones at people. And when she's pulled up on it, she always hides behind addiction. And when she hides behind addiction, what do the public think? Oh, feel bad, I can't challenge her. She's a nasty woman.
Is this why we always hear, Hugh Edwards or whoever it is always, even now, Prince Andrew, or Andrew Mountbatten, Windsor, is it?
Yeah.
I keep hearing, a few people, it's being dripped into the media, little by little, mental health issues.
Oh yeah, mental health. So I called this weeks before it happened. It's PR playbook. When you are backed into a corner, what do? You try and shift the blame. So there's narratives coming out that he's that it's fragile mental health, that Beatrice is on the verge of a breakdown. Beatrice that's just gone to Stard skiing, drinking Glühwein. You don't do that when you're on the verge of a breakdown.
No.
So it's just crazy.
Yeah.
They're only sorry when they get caught. It's the only time they're sorry. They're not sorry all the time. Andrew wasn't sorry when he was fleecing the taxpayer. He wasn't sorry for being friends with a convicted He wasn't sorry for inviting a convicted into Buckingham Palace. Sarah Ferguson, her trail of disaster it just goes on for miles. But then King Charles, when he was Prince of Wales, very chummy with her. They're lying to us.
The island was a harvesting point, high-profile individuals weren't just going there for the crimes the media focuses on, they were going there for rejuvenation protocols that aren't legal in any civilized country. Sources claim that Ellen's interest in the island was purely functional. She was obsessed with staying at the top of her game, obsessed with the energy that made her a daytime icon. But the ingredients for that energy had a horrifying source, and what happened next would shock everyone who thought they knew the truth about Hollywood's golden couple.
Ellen DeGeneres is named in the Epstein documents, and that part is real. Her name appears in the broader index of over 300 high-profile individuals that show up across the investigative materials. Flight logs, communications, third-party interviews, peripheral records.
I've handpicked the top-rated skincare, home, and wellness essentials in my official Amazon storefront. Click the link in my description to shop the Celeb Curio collection today.
Bill Gates' carefully crafted image as a selfless philanthropist crumbled when unsealed documents suggested his ties to the network involved more than just casual professional dinners. This revelation served as the final straw for his marriage, with Melinda Gates publicly confirming that the associations were disturbing enough to end a multi-billion-dollar union. It proves that even the world's most logical and data-driven men were susceptible to the dark influence and trades of this elite hidden network.
I was foolish to spend time with him. I was one of many people who regret ever knowing him. No, apparently Jeffrey wrote an email to himself. That email was never sent. The email is, false. So I don't know what his thinking was there. It just reminds me, every minute I spent with him, I regret and I, apologize that I did that. It's factually true that I was only at dinners. I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Elon Musk's 2012 emails regarding wild parties suggest that even the rebels and outsiders of the tech world were being actively courted by these notorious gatekeepers. While he aggressively denies visiting the island, the mere existence of this high-level correspondence shows that no one, regardless of wealth or anti-establishment branding, was outside the reach of these dark invitations. In the world of the global elite, everyone eventually gets the call. The only thing that matters is who decides to pick up.
New emails from 2012 and 2013 show billionaire Elon Musk and Epstein coordinating a possible visit to the financier's infamous island. Musk asks when the wildest party will be. In another exchange, Epstein telling Musk there is always space for you and says he will send a heli for him. It's not clear if Musk ever visited the island. Musk's name has popped up in prior releases, including from the House Oversight Committee's release from the Epstein estate. He did not respond to NBC News' request for comment, but previously called Epstein a cretin and said he never advised him. Musk told Vanity Fair that Epstein tried repeatedly to get him to his island, but he declined. Emails also show Trump Cabinet Secretary Howard Lutnick coordinating a visit in the Caribbean in 2012. It's not clear if the meetings happened. Lutnick claimed to have cut ties with Epstein in 2005.
My wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
But the emails show drink and lunch meetings being arranged between the two well into 2012. A Commerce Secretary spokesperson said in a statement, quote, Secretary Lutnick has had limited interactions with Mr. Epstein in the presence of his wife and has never been accused of wrongdoing. The drop also includes a spreadsheet summary of complaints made to the FBI's National Threat Operations Center. It contained allegations against former President Donald Trump and former President Bill Clinton. There's no indication the FBI turned up evidence supporting the tips. And a note on the file read some of these individuals are reporting secondhand information and determined some of the tips were not credible. The DOJ later temporarily pulled the file without explanation. Both former presidents have denied any wrongdoing.
Wright warns that the massive 3 million document dump is a calculated fatigue strategy designed to make the public too exhausted to connect the dots. The elite are betting that by overwhelming us with data, the names and dates will blur together until the public simply moves on to the next viral distraction. Jaguar's message is a global plea to stay vigilant and not allow the fatigue to protect those who have hidden behind cover-ups for decades.
Adjacent to or, traveling in the same circles as the person that's been selected to be this icon Because let's just be very clear. He was selected, just like Diddy was selected. Question is by who? Now, for many years, I minded my business about a lot of things, but a lot of things came to me. I heard a lot of things. You gotta remember, this was back when I was still trying to be amicable with the industry so that I could have my career, so that I could have my life, right? Everything that I worked for, everything that I sacrificed. Up until, what? 2016, 2017, I was still ignoring a lot of things. A lot of things. It wasn't until I couldn't ignore it anymore because I realized this ain't going nowhere. And then when I started seeing exactly how dangerous things have become, it was very simple. It's either you're going to speak up or they're going to keep getting away with it, or you're going to get handled up on regardless because you're not playing along the way you should be playing along. Like that's how this works. Like the people that get rewarded are the people that keep the secrets, the people that are quiet, and the people that lie for them. The people who get a pass are the people who pretend that like they don't know what's going on, and then the people that speak up are the people that, you know, get persecuted, get framed, get trashed, you know, are forced to go broke, you know, that kind of shit. So yeah, like I cannot say that it was an overnight process. I was hoping. See, I was always so quick to just blame, you know, all of the harm and the terrible shit in the industry on Diddy. I wasn't really willing to accept the fact that they were working together.
One of the most talked about names is former President Donald Trump. Trump and Epstein first crossed paths in the late 1980s and early 1990s when both men were fixtures in the wealthy social circles of New York and Palm Beach. At the time, Trump was already a famous real estate developer, while Epstein was building a reputation as a wealthy financier with powerful connections. The friendship became impossible to ignore after a 2002 interview resurfaced. In that interview, Trump described Epstein as a friend he had known for years and commented that Epstein liked beautiful women, including women who were on the younger side. The quote would later become one of the most frequently discussed pieces of evidence connecting the two men, among many others.
Video from 1992 shows the president with Epstein at a Mar-a-Lago party.
Epstein actually attended Donald Trump's wedding to Marla Maples.
Between 1993 and 1997, flight logs released in the trial of Epstein's now convicted associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, show Mr. Trump flew on Epstein's plane multiple times.
This video has never been seen before in this context. It shows Trump talking to Jeffrey Epstein just before models hit the runway at the Victoria's Secret fashion show in New York in 1999.
In 2002, Mr. Trump told New York Magazine, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with," adding, "It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side."
The letter bearing Trump's name, which contains several lines of typewritten text, concludes, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret."
So how do you know this?
That was supposed to show you.
Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights.
Then attention shifted to another former president, Bill Clinton. Unlike Trump, Clinton's connection to Epstein was largely tied to global charity work and international travel. During the late 1990s and early 2000s, both men moved within the same circles of wealthy donors, political leaders, and philanthropists.
So I didn't really find any Epstein connections to Haiti. There is a lot of weird stuff going on with the Virgin Islands, which is Caribbean too, which is where he had a major presence. But the Clinton Foundation first. So Clinton and Epstein definitely had a relationship when Clinton was still president, but most of the reporting about it has only been discussed since after Clinton left office and was creating his philanthropy. And a lot of that was directly facilitated or associated with Epstein. So a lot of the flights that Clinton takes with Epstein, for example, you have people like Doug Band, and it was Clinton and Doug Band that were basically creating the Clinton Foundation at that time. They're going on Epstein's plane. They're taking a lot of the early trips that were used to cement and develop key programs of the Clinton Foundations, like the infamous Africa trip and things like that, right? And Clinton ended up crediting Epstein as being sort of the architect of the HIV/AIDS program, which later developed into CHI, the Clinton Health Access Initiative, I think that stands for. And the guy that ran that was also on the plane a lot of the times with Doug Band and Clinton on Epstein's plane, Era Magaziner. And then you have CHI end up working very closely with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and other philanthropy of someone who had ties with Epstein going back to the 1990s as well, and then later helping plan out his philanthropy to a considerable degree. So why is someone who's like Epstein tied to eugenics, transhumanism, and all sorts of weird stuff? So basically developed the HIV/AIDS program for the Clinton Foundation and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. That's pretty nuts. And another thing that I found that I thought was really odd, Epstein doesn't have any formal business or organizational presence in Africa, but he was present for that Africa trip with the Clinton Foundation.
And former President Bill Clinton, he features a lot in this dump of images. His association with Epstein is well known, and he is on record expressing his regret at having ever known him. Clinton is photographed in the files with Kevin Spacey too. There's an image of Mick Jagger with Ghislaine Maxwell. None of these photos have any context to them. We don't know who took them or when they were taken. But remember, they are all part of the Epstein estate, seized over the years and sealed until now. Here's a picture of Sarah Ferguson, ex-wife, of course, of Andrew, formerly Prince Andrew, and he features too. This is an image of the former prince lying across several women. The only other person identified in this document is Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, we've cross-referenced this photo with other photos, and it was taken at the late Queen's home, Sandringham, in the UK. Of course, Andrew was friends with Epstein and Maxwell. He settled financially out of court with Virginia Giuffre, who had accused him of sexual assault. He's always denied any wrongdoing.
You are now part of the small, informed percentage of people who actually know what's happening behind the heavy velvet curtain. The algorithms are specifically designed to bury and shadow ban videos like this because they challenge the very people who run the platforms you are using right now. If you think the world needs to wake up, if you think these names need to be held accountable in the court of public opinion, then you need to act right now. Like this video to tell the algorithm that this is a priority. Share it to your global network to break the wall of silence that has stood for 30 years. And most importantly, hype this video and leave a comment below so we know you're standing on the right side of history with us. They can silence one voice, they can cancel one comedian, but they cannot silence millions of us working together. The clock is ticking for the elite. Are you ready for what's coming next?